Broaden your knowledge about herbs, how they are practical, and incorporate them in everyday life along with some home remedies. Create this beautiful decor using your photographs. Learn about this new product that's going to help you be more creative, and you'll have tons of ideas. Along the way, we're going to complete this DIY, and I'm going to give you some pro tips on how you can better organize and declutter your sewing and or craft room. So let's dive in. On the lemon balm oil, what is it used for? Why do I need it? What's the necessity of it? You can treat fever blisters, canker sores, and any kind of like bacterial bite or irritation on the skin. You can apply the oil straight onto the skin. You can also cook with the lemon balm oil. It is excellent on fish or chicken, and it gives you all the benefits, all the properties, nutrients, and vitamins along with your cooking. You can saute your vegetables with it on your stir fry, or you can put it with your vinegar oil dressing for a tossed salad. Let's make our lemon balm oil together. Grab you a mason jar or a glass vessel that has a lid on it that you can shake it and the liquid will not leak from it. Next, come out to your lemon balm patch. As you can see, I have plenty in supply, even some that's voluntarily came up in this pot. And then all about the porch. And you want to pick the leaves. So you want to just pick the leaves because the stem has too much water content in it. And I'm just going to take that whole stem. And then just start putting leaves into your jar. And you don't want the stem of that leaf, you simply want the leaf. So you can pick as few or as much as you want and just place that in the jar. Our lemon balm gathered into our mason jar, and I went ahead and just loosely filled my mason jar because I will use this for cooking oil as well as making my fever blister treatment and also creams from this. So I'll be making a full quart. Now you're ready to just add your olive oil. So I've got my wooden spoon out here, and I have my lemon balm, and then I have my olive oil. And basically you're just going to pour your oil over those leaves. And it depends on how much you're making. Like me, I'm making a ton because I'm going to be using this for more than one application. And so you can kind of mash your leaves a little bit. Just try to, don't overdo it. You don't got to minceyate them. Just kind of want to, bruise them per se without turning them black. You just want them to yield their benefits into that oil. And I'm only doing it because we have large, fresh lemon balm leaves here. And I'm just working that oil around, making sure nothing's packed up and so forth. And then I will cover those leaves with my oil. And then you can shake it every few days and just let it sit there and infuse. You can cook with this oil. You can place it on your salad. You can also put it into skincare and make it into a salve. Just remember, if you're treating something like herpes simplex type 1, which is fever blisters, canker sores, and just viral bacteria that shows up on the outside on our face, and it's not very attractive at all. And you can just put a dab of it on there, but you get the benefits of this. You can also yield this for creams, so if that's using a water and oil base. There's different things. I do and have made lemon balm vinegar, but I generally make it as a balsamic vinegar, meaning I mix it with other herbs and so forth, and berries, blackberries and blueberries, mostly blueberries and lemon balm. They're delicious. Double whammy of antioxidants and benefits. So now I can just put the lid on to this jar, and I can cover it with some more oil later if I want, and just let that steep. And the main thing is you want your oil to cover whatever leaves you gather. That's how you gauge it and determine how much do you need or how little do you need. And then the wooden spoon is just giving me leverage to be able to mash down in there instead of using a metal spoon. Use maybe a plastic one if you have it versus a metal one. And then that way you're getting the oils from your leaf, but you're not putting metal in there. Sometimes the essential oils, well, most of the time actually, the essential oils in your plant matter will react with the metal. So you don't want to use metal ever, never, ever. You just want to use like a wooden spoon or even a plastic. Then that way it's not changing the chemistry, because the oils will react to the metal and you don't want to introduce that into your batch. The most important part is make sure you put a label on it. And since that's showing off my atlas, I'm going to place mine here on the back of my jar. I've dated it out 2 weeks, and therefore when I take this out, I'll strain this through cheesecloth, and I may warm it up just slightly. Do not overheat it. And you can heat this up and then put your leaves in there and get them saturated, but you don't want to burn up the essential oils. And lemon balm is a cold water infusion, so it easily yields, and something like this is great. So these spent herbs, you'll just give them back to nature and save the oil and just let it drain slowly through cheesecloth. Date it out 2 weeks and just check on it daily and make sure there's nothing going on in there. And as you can see, just from that meshing and pressing, the oil has a greenish tone to it, so it's already given us some good properties in there. And that's going to be delicious in our meals, or in our creams and salves will be very beneficial in healing. Place it in a warm place, a warm location, but not where direct sunlight can get on it and not where heat can get to it. And so basically I put mine on my apothecary shelf. And over here is where I have many concoctions and things made, but it's really local to me, and I can just place it here. That way no light is getting on it, no sunlight. This is the under cabinet light, Okay, let's review really quick. With having the lemon balm, because you've already infused it, so once those spent herbs are used and you've strained out the oil, you captured it into a container, preferably a glass container with, of course, a liquid proof lid, whether it be plastic or metal, and then just store it in a cool, dry, dark place. The great thing about the lemon balm oil is you're getting all those properties and all those healthy benefits and nutrition from the plant matter itself, and you're able to spread it around. Might be the preferable corny way of saying use the oil. Use the oil. It's lemon balm oil. It's fantastic. Use it. It's wonderful. Just wanted to leave you with that little note, and don't forget to date and label it. And if you store it correctly, it can last up to 3 years. If you're insecure about some of the areas in your home get really warm or you might forget about it, mindfully put it in the refrigerator and put it right there where your condiments are, so you're constantly reminded that that is your lemon balm oil, and reminding yourself to use it in many different applications. It's safe for infants to elders, and you have nothing to worry about. Just a little tidbit from your practical apothecary, Elizabeth. Have a wonderful day. Here's a creative DIY for the modest household who just wants a little bit of photographs around. And it's so simple to do. Grab your photographs, and we're going to get some of our scrapbook paper and some craft background paper that's a little stiffer. You'll need a glue stick unless you have the Canon Ivy. If you have the Canon Ivy, I'll put a link down below where you can get it. And this, you can Bluetooth it to your telephone and print off the photographs on your cell phone in these little miniature 2 by 3 inch stickers. Super easy to use, and it's just like using a one-shot. The same thing, the Canon Ivy is something that you can carry around, and it's really sporty. You can just take it to the beach or on your vacation and print out these little photographs. If you scrap journal or junk journal, it is the perfect thing for you. So I have my scrap paper here and my craft paper, and I'm going to cut this width to fit inside of a glass bowl. I'm going to peel off the paper and sticky those to the actual scrap paper. And then I'll glue that piece of scrap paper down to the craft cardstock to give it the stiffness so it makeshifts its own frame. And a lot of people really have these darling little pictures of their pets and themselves, and they love them on their phone. And the only time they really get to enjoy them is when they're cleaning up their telephone and maybe trying to get some of the stuff that's on there. And they have a lot of photographs, and maybe you go all at one time and print them at the drugstore, or you might do something at home. But this is another way that you can get these in miniature fashion. They fit just about anywhere. I put them on magnets for my refrigerator. I've made all kinds of collages with them, and they are super, super easy to make. And this is just a way you can dress up something, do your own DIY, and use those creative skills of yours. You may even take several pictures in a series where it looks like they're running or they're throwing a football or they're doing something in action, and you can put that series on this strip. You only want your strip to be as long as the diameter on the inner side of your glass bowl. So if you're got a fish bowl, fish that the goldfish is no longer living in, or maybe you have the betta vases and you fill them with beads, or maybe you make flower arrangements, you can definitely make your little photo collage like I'm doing, and you can slide it down on the inside of your jar. That way you get to enjoy those photographs and you can still have your floral arrangement. So this is really nifty. I've got this set, and I'm going to glue the scrap paper to that cardstock. Once again, just ensuring that I have this really firm, bendable piece of paper, and cardstock is a heavier weight, and it'll give you that flexibility. And these are already stickered to the scrap paper. So it's real simple, real easy to do, and you can dress up any plain jar. Maybe you even have it as a hidden cachet like I do, or perhaps maybe your favorite chocolates and candies on the inside. And on the outside, you're going to be seeing all of these adorable little photographs of little adventures and things that you've done with your family. So now that I've got that in place, I'm going to take and place it down into my fish bowl. I made this into a bubblegum machine using a clay pot and a fish bowl. This particular one is about 20 years old, and I did break the lid on it, so I've been using another type of lid. But as you can see, it really came in handy, and I actually could have put another photograph on there if I'd have cut it a little bit longer. And you can go all the way around. You can change its position. And then metal buckets from Dollar Tree, I just slide that down in the center. And guess what? I put all of my charging cables and the battery pack that plugs into the wall down inside of that. And it's a little hideaway cache. That way, when we're charging something, we can easily slide that out, plug it in, charge it up, and then we have a place to store it, keeping it compact and less clutter off of the surface areas. And this way, it just really, truly doubles as storage, organization, decluttering. Everyone knows where to find the charging cables and plugs for our under the cabinet lights, our cell phones, our battery operated flashlights, our all kinds of rechargeables in the house. And this makes it really super simple. But I could easily put a flower in that, a potted plant down inside of its own bucket inside of this fish bowl. So I use it for all kinds of things. So grab you a clay pot, the 3 or 4 inch clay pot, grab you one of the round fish bowls from Dollar Tree or Walmart, use your E6000 and glue it to the top of it, and voila, this thing can serve as even a place to draw out dip and put condiments for a gathering. Perhaps you have some friends over during the spring and summer months. And it's just a joy to enjoy. So make yours and you be creative. Share with me, tag me on Instagram, and show me what you did with your fishbowl. Some ways to stay organized in your sewing room when you're dealing with fabric is cut you some cardboard. These are about 12 inches long, and these are around 8 or so, and I've got some that are wide and some that are narrow. And these make really good ways to doff your cloth. For example, I'll have my yardage here, and it's just beautiful and neat and clean, and it is ready to be used to minimize and keep organized so that I can see everything clearly and find what I need. I will take, say, my 1 yard of fabric or more, and I'll fold it almost in half. And then that way the nap will be at the lower edge or upper edge, and that way I know that that is the length of the cloth. And you can fold these any way you want, but I will generally fold those almost in half so that when I put my board there, they will fold up on that board really nice and neat. And like this one, for example, the nap edge, I'll fold it in half, and then of course I'll just bring my fabric up over that cardboard and I'll just roll it, and that way it's nice and doffed just like when I bought it in the fabric store. Keeps it really nice and clean, and I make sure that whichever edge I'm going to, say, rest this fabric upon, like this one at the nap edge, I'll make sure that that board is at least down at the bottom, because the top will hold itself per se. In other words, it's just maybe a thumb dip, but I want that bottom edge so that when I roll up my fabric onto my board, it is resting just like a book. And this makes it really, really nice and neat. The corner or the fold here on the edge, sometimes I will take and go ahead and just fold it inward and just give it another fold there so that I can roll it off real easy, because I can tell by this edge that that is the beginning. And so that it's just nice and neat, and you can set it up like a book. Another thing that you can do is, if you have, say, purchased the plastic, almost like shrink wrap, you can take saran wrap, or you can take one of your press and seal wraps is another way. Another thing that I use, and you can find it in fabric stores and craft stores, is like this is the shrink wrap like you use in packaging, and it just will cling to itself, and it's wide, and it makes it really nice and neat. The other thing is called amazing tape. You can use it. This one is a blue one, and it just sticks to itself. And then this one's also amazing tape, but it's more narrow. I really like using this broad one, and the great thing is it will bind to itself, and it only takes a moment to just lay it around there. And when I cut off my fabric and I want to put it back on this doff, it's already closed up and it will stay to itself. The great thing about this as well is I can actually put a piece of paper in here that tells me how much of this that I have. So if this is a yard, I'll mark it as a yard. That just makes it easy math for me. And then that way it just clings to itself, and it keeps it really nice and clean. And then of course you using your paper scissors, not your fabric scissors, and I just take a piece of paper, and a Sharpie's okay if it is dry. Once, when you put it on here, you don't want to put it against the fabric, because it could, over a period of time, if it got hot or something, you could possibly get a bleed through and get that marker on your fabric. But what's really neat is with this cling doubled on top of itself, I can lay it in between and then lay it down. So now I have a measurement of how much fabric is on that doff. And then that way, if I am looking for something specific, and the great thing is I can put these by color, I can put them by theme, So like this is a Christmas fabric, and I know exactly what I have. If this is a wider fabric, say it's a wide back, I will put WB and then put how much it is yardage wise, and then that way if I'm looking for backing for my quilting, I can easily find it. So those are just some tips that I use, and there again, you know, any kind of cling roll, you can pick this up at Dollar Tree and Walmart, any of your packaging areas. And then the amazing tape, you can generally find these in the actual sewing department of your local craft stores. And that is actually called amazing tape.